Well, hello there, and I do hope you're all well. Now in this final video before Christmas, Rishi Sunak was asked by Labour MP Catherine McKinnell at the Liaison Committee meeting about child poverty, and where she spoke about a charity being set up to help children with the realities of today's Britain, and asked if he was ashamed about this situation. Cue the denying reality, and how proud of the 12 years of world-leading Tory rule.
Is the Prime Minister also aware that the Petitions Committee led a debate in Parliament yesterday on child bed poverty? That there's a deputy head teacher in Leeds who's established a charity to provide beds for children because they're struggling to concentrate at school. Is he not ashamed that that is a reality for children growing up in Britain today?
Well, what I'm keen to make sure is that we don't have children who are growing up in poverty. All the evidence is crystal clear that the best way to do that is to ensure that children don't grow up in a workless household. And if you can achieve that, they're 5 times less likely to grow up in poverty, which is why I'm pleased that there are several 100,000 fewer households that are like that compared to when the Conservative government first came into office, and that's why ensuring that we can support people into good, well-paid jobs, make sure that we continue increasing the national living wage is really important, because that is the best way to ensure that children don't grow up in poverty. That's what I want to see. We've made great progress. There are hundreds of thousands fewer children in poverty today than in 2010, but of course I want to keep driving that number down.
So I just don't recognise what the Prime Minister's saying. It seems to be a parallel reality, because the number of children living in poverty is going up, not down. We're heading for 34% by the government's own measure, preferred measure, which is going to reach the peak of the 1990s. So this is going in the wrong direction, which is why children are going without beds. It's a symptom of child poverty. Given that 75% of children growing up in poverty live in a house where someone works, can the Prime Minister not see that it's a very complacent response from him, and it just doesn't seem to be going to solve the problem? How is he going to solve child poverty?
Maybe we're looking at different numbers, but the numbers that I know, and happily to share them with the committee, are that there are, as I said previously, over 1 million people, fewer people in absolute poverty than there were in 2010. Now, the children component of that, I think, is 200,000 fewer children on that measure, and absolute poverty fewer than there were in 2010. And again, about 1 million fewer workless households today than in 2010. And again, that is by far and away, I think, the biggest driver of a child growing up in poverty. I'm not remotely complacent about it. I don't want any child to grow up in poverty. It's awful to think that they are, and what we should do is continue to reduce it. We've made progress. There's always more to do. I think the most important way to help those children is to make sure that their parents are in good, well-paid jobs.
Yes, according to our mega-rich, born on third base and still thinks he scored a home run PM, the best way out of poverty for kids in extreme Brexit Tory Britain is to get their lazy, scrounging layabout parents off universal credit and back into highly paid jobs, whatever or wherever these jobs are. And let's be honest, high paid jobs was code word for get the plebs to accept paupers paid work and get the vermin to accept their gruel. And when Catherine McKinnell basically told him he was basically talking out of his rich boy's derriere, he basically just tried to say that she's thick and clearly cannot read figures and statistics, and I would go almost as far as say a little hint of mansplaining in there as well, all with his patronising grin like a man who has a wealth of working class friends who he talked about, you know, the same figures with the golf club balls in Tunbridge Wells. What an utter melon, eh? But anyway, I shall leave the video here. Tell me what you think down below. And I just want to say, have a fantastic Christmas, my friends. Thank you for all your fantastic, wonderful support and your kindness you've shown me since I've been on this channel. And I'm incredibly humbled. And I shall see you next week. And have a fantastic Christmas, my friends. And just take care and have fun. And love you all. Thank you.